Hello guys, welcome to Construction Gist with Ebos. Today we are going to be looking at how we can repair cracks in concrete. Last time I discussed with you guys on understanding cracks in concrete, that is the causes of crack and the types of cracks that you can experience in your concrete. If you are joining me for the first time, you are welcome to Construction Gist. Here we discuss about house construction and define ways how we can fix or repair certain things regarding our house construction activities. Once again, if you're a builder or homeowners or engineers, you are welcome. Always feel free to comment, share your opinions on topics that can help others to grow in their house construction activities. Also, feel free to share this video so that those that needs to know more about house construction activities will get to see it. So like I was saying before, when you look at cracks in your concrete, some of the challenges we'll be looking at is how can we possibly repair it if we find out that we have cracks in our concrete. I'm going to be discussing about 4 different solutions that we can provide. The first one I'm going to be looking at is for the air types of cracks. I mean those type of cracks that they are not that visible. Those cracks that are very tiny, that result as a result of shrinkage. As homeowners, you can fix it yourself. It is not a difficult kind of cracks to overcome because it does not have any problem with the concrete. It does not affect the integrity of the concrete or the strength of the concrete. One easy way you can use to fix it is by mixing your cement grout. I believe you understand what I mean by cement grout. Mix your sand and cement together. Make it a little bit lighter so that it can seep through the crack space. Once you're able to do that, use it to fill the crack space. Why are you doing it? One of the reasons why you need to do it is so that water will not be going through the crack phase, so that in the long time, it's not going to affect the concrete itself. So that's one of the reasons why you need to seal it up. Another one that I'll be looking at is if you have concrete or structures or walls or slab that you have expansion cracks on it, or walls that you have settlement cracks on it. Now you discover that this particular type of cracks are a little bit wider. So for you to repair it, you don't need to be professional for you to fix those type of cracks. Just like the first instance I gave, for this one now, you can still mix your cement mortar, but before you apply it, you need to clean the surface very well. In most cases, open up the cracks so that you can use the mortar cement mix and fill it up. If you don't want to use mortar cement mix, you can buy crack filler and use it to fill it up. You can also apply reinforcement, especially if you discover that the crack is obvious and you are suspecting that it's likely to reoccur. So you can put a reinforcement, look for maybe a little, not that, not maybe like nail or any kind of iron material less than 8 millimeter. Place them horizontally at different intervals, then fill it up with your concrete. Once you are able to position the tiny reinforcement in horizontal position, then you can fill it up with concrete mortar. Make sure your concrete mix is good enough so that you will not start having cracks again in that particular area. You can buy exposite filler or you buy crack filler to do this particular exercise. The next way or the next one we'll be looking at on how we can repair cracks in our concrete, we'll be looking at those cracks that are formed as a result of structural deformation. If you have a crack that you are not sure, or maybe the crack width is too wide, or the effect of the crack is so severe that the cause is not as a result of expansion or as a result of loss of water, then you know that the cause might be as a result of pressure or excessive load on the particular concrete. What do you do in that kind of situation? For homeowners, it's advisable not to try to solve that particular type of cracks problem. The best thing that you need to do is to engage an engineer or a professional that will carry out investigation and provide solution to that crack. What are the ways they are going to do it? The first thing they are going to do is to discover what is bringing the pressure to the concrete. After establishing the fact of what is bringing the pressure to the concrete, it becomes easier for the engineers or the professional to provide solution. I would have loved to give you some examples, but such type of cracks can occur in different ways. Sometimes it can be as a result of structural designs that are not properly done, or during construction process, the support condition is not properly placed. That can equally result to structural cracks. But for the purpose of how we can repair this, how we can repair cracks in concrete, what we'll be looking at is just solutions that can be provided as do-it-yourself purpose. But for this type of cracks, it's always advisable to look for a professional to assist you in fixing the crack problem so that you will not end up causing more damage to the entire structure. Let's quickly look at the other way that we can fix cracks that are as a result of settlement. I mean, when the ground beneath the concrete has a displacement or shift, what happens is that the concrete on it is going to experience crack. One way that you can solve this particular crack, just like I said in the previous one, just have to engage a professional to investigate what makes the soil beneath it to shift. If after investigation, what they need to do is to fix the soil first, probably maybe applying reinforcement to the soil before repairing the cracks. If it's not done that way, there's always a reoccurrence or assurance that the crack will resurface again if you only treat the crack without taking care of the soil beneath the crack will always resurface with time. So now that you have an idea of how you can repair cracks in your concrete activities, let's quickly look at how we can prevent cracks instead of repairing cracks. If we understand how we can prevent cracks, it becomes easier for us because we will not need to spend that much for repairing. But the problem we always have as homeowners or builders or engineers, the idea, if you don't have that idea of how you can prevent it, definitely you will end up spending money in repairing it. One of the ways we'll look at on how we can prevent cracks is introduction of control joints. Now, when I mean control joints, I'm talking about creating a kind of expansion joint at interval in our construction jobs, especially on slabs, driveway, or on our patio. The moment you know you are doing a construction activities that is going to take a large amount of concrete, you must provide a means of creating either an expansion joint or control joint so that it can create a space where the concrete can interact or move freely, thereby reducing the cracks on the surface of the concrete. Another area or ways that we are going to be looking at is the curing process of concrete. You know, when I use the word curing process, after pouring of concrete, the curing process starts. If that curing process is not adequately monitored, you are still going to have cracks on the surface as a result of excessive water evaporating from the concrete. One way of preventing it is to apply curing compounds, or if you don't have funds for curing compounds, you can use black waterproof, wet black waterproof, and cover the surface of the concrete so that the excess moisture that will go out can be reduced. So outside this way, one important thing that we need to consider when we are trying to prevent cracks in concrete is our mix ratio. If the concrete mix is not adequate enough, it can result to crack in concrete. So there's always need when you are preparing your concrete, make sure the mix ratio is adequate, is based on design specification so that you can limit or reduce the crack that will be induced as a result of your mix ratio or your concrete mix. So far, so good. I want to believe that we've gotten the discussion on ground. I started with the causes of crack last time, then we discussed about the types of crack, and today I'm looking at how we can repair cracks and talk about how we can prevent it also. So the other areas we look at in terms of prevention of crack, we need to look at erosion, how you can prevent erosion from the surface of your concrete. When there's erosion in area where your concrete activities is being carried out. It is easier for you to prevent it rather than leaving it like that and allow the erosion to wash the soil beneath your concrete. If that happens, it will definitely lead to crack in the long run. I hope my this discussion is clear enough. So I'm still going to be discussing about more areas how we can prevent cracks. The other areas we'll be looking at on how we can prevent cracks is the load on the slab, the load on the concrete. We need to be careful on the amount of load that we place on our concrete structure. If you cannot really understand the amount of load, then try as much as possible not to place a higher load on a concrete that is not designed for that particular type of load. For instance, if you just finish a new deck and you want to continue the project, it is not advisable for you to stack all the blocks at one point on that deck. That will definitely lead to overloading the deck. What do you do? Prevention method. What you need to do is to take little of the blocks up to the deck. After using it, before you transfer others gradually. So you do it step by step so that you can save that deck from excessive load. Now, what happen on a driveway? If you have a concrete, you've done your driveway, it is not advisable for you to take a car that is not designed for that driveway and use it to ply the driveway. It can lead to deformation of that concrete or crack. In any case, if you know that this particular driveway is going to be accessible to small and bigger trucks, then it is advisable for you to reinforce it while you are preparing that particular driveway. Lastly, maintenance. In construction activities, building your house is not enough. You can finish building a decent house. If you don't carry out proper maintenance culture, it will develop cracks in the corners or on the floors or in different areas. But once you are able to apply good maintenance culture, you discover that cracks that might have start developing, you notice on time and take care of it. If you don't have good maintenance culture, you are likely going to have issues with cracks in your concrete. Thank you for staying up to this time. I really hope you've gotten one or two things from this discussion. If you would like us to discuss about things that is bothering you about your construction activities, let me know in the comment section. Probably we will easily do a video in terms of explaining it or write you back and explain to you what you need to do. I appreciate your time for staying up to this time. Do help us share this video so that others that might have one challenges regarding cracks in their homes might learn one or two things from it. I'm going to be looking about on another topic in my next video. For now, I can't really say the topic I'm looking at, but by this time next week, God willing, I will have dropped that same video I'm looking at. So thank you very much. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe and God bless you.